Should you visit Dublin? That is the question. I stayed there for 3 months in a hostel near O'Connell Street Bridge, and well, I can only give you my experience. So I'll tell you what I expected, what I encountered, and whether you should visit or not. I'm the Mad Traveler. I'm traveling the world, and this is my adventure. Now, what I expected was a lovely, medium-sized city where the grass is greener than green, the beer flows from the fountains, and the people are just lovely and red-haired. I basically expected Edinburgh or Edinburgh, Scotland. And yeah, I didn't get that at all. It's a small city, but that makes it, easy to get around. You can walk everywhere. There aren't that many green spaces, and half of the ones that do exist are filled with bums and heroin addicts, which I'll get to in a moment. And there are really no tourist attractions in the city. Yes, everyone that comes says they want to go to the Guinness Brewery and the Jameson Distillery. But guess what? It's a brewery and a distillery. They're overpriced tours, and you're not going to get anything out of it. And if you think you're going to go to the top of the Guinness factory and you're going to have a great view over the city, remember that there's only sunlight in the city for 5 minutes a day, every other day. Every photo you see where it's lovely, beautiful weather and the buildings look so nice, yeah, the cameraman stood there all day for a week until he could take that photo, okay? You see them trying to take that photo all the time when you cross the O'Connell Street Bridge. Now let's talk about the people. Dubliners, by and large, especially the young ones, have an issue with foreigners. Now, it may not always bubble to the surface, but it is there. And staying there for 3 months, I saw it quite a lot. In fact, about 10 meters, 30 feet from the entrance to my hostel, which is on the River Liffey, my friends, a group of French people, got beat up by locals for being foreigners. They were specifically told, "We are going to hurt you because you are a foreigner." And then they did. Lovely. Oh, and they have a huge heroin problem in Dublin. It's an epidemic. It's really, really, really bad. In fact, there was a guy shooting up heroin one morning in the entrance to my hostel. So you finish your breakfast, you're feeling good, you want to go out and enjoy the 5 minutes of sun that you're offered that day, and you see a guy shooting up heroin in the entrance to your hostel. Lovely. Welcome to Dublin. I later learned to understand what it looks like when someone is on heroin, and you can see it all throughout the city, especially on O'Connell Street. Not even Upper O'Connell Street, Lower O'Connell Street, you can see it. And during the day, evening, especially at night, it's basically just a cesspool. It's not such a great environment. Now, the real question is, does Dublin have any redeeming qualities? Well, not really. So, one thing I really did like about the city is that it's pub culture times 1,000. I've never experienced anything like it, even living in the UK, where you can wake up in the morning, have your breakfast in a pub. A local will probably be having a pint of Guinness or Magners next to you. And then you can have lunch in the pub, and then you can have dinner in the pub and drinks, and there will be live music and people will be partying. In fact, there are so many pubs around the city that there's no point in going on a pub crawl. You can make your own pub crawl. So the pub culture is amazing. It's really cool and really, really fun. Now, there's a lot of drunk people everywhere in the evenings, and you sometimes have to be careful. But that aspect of the city I found to be quite enjoyable, although it's not something you would want to do every day forever, or I guess then you'll become Irish and die young. I don't know. So, should you visit Dublin? Short answer, no, not at all. The only reason you should go to Dublin is if you want to pass through it to take a tour around the lovely parts of the country where the lovely people are and the beautiful sights are. But if you want to have fun, if you want to party, if you're going for a stag party or whatever, which a lot of people do, Dublin is a great place to do that. When you go out to Temple Bar, which is very touristy but still very fun, albeit expensive, every day during the week is like a weekend in another city, and the weekend is just insane. So you can have a lot of fun with all the pubs having their own version of live music or DJs, and you can get every different kind of music, from heavy metal to rap to some sort of Celtic folk music. There's just so much variety, and it's a lot of fun. But then I would say you should only stay for a couple days. So if you want to go to Dublin and you want to have fun and you want to party, stay for 3 days. You'll do everything you want to do. You'll see every pub you want to see. You'll have as much fun as you can handle. And then you'll leave with probably a relatively positive image of Dublin. If you stay there for only 3 days, you won't notice all the heroin addicts and all the bums and all as many of the grumpy Dubliners, because you'll be drunk the whole time. So those are the only 2 reasons I would go to Dublin. It's not a place for families or tourists, but if you want to party, you can have a lot of fun. A little bonus story. Dublin is the only city where someone has tried to jump me and rob me. Now, it didn't work out so well for the 2 guys that tried it, but I guess you can't blame them for trying, because I mean, it is Dublin after all. Make sure to subscribe, rate, comment, and stay tuned. There's more to come.